How are you? I hope everybody is doing all right. I am stepping out of my comfort zone, and I don't even know what a comfort zone is these days. I mean, I know. The Lord is my comfort zone. But it has been a challenge lately for a lot of reasons. It's no secret with the upheaval post George Floyd execution. He was like executed. And forgive me, I'm just gonna talk off the cuff. I'm going to do a poem eventually, and part of the Breakup song, in my mind, how I want to put it together, it was like, oh yeah, this is gonna work, it's gonna work. But as I sit here and talk, I don't know. I don't know so much that it will, but just hear my heart. Fear. You know, when you are afraid, but you don't really want to say you're afraid, but it's, you know, it's there. When you admit it, you know what? Yeah, I got to deal with this spirit of fear. I really do. Usually when I deal with different feelings or emotion, it's writing. It's through my writing. I'll write a poem or whatever, Facebook rampage, just to get these feelings out. It's like, sometimes I think, oh, why are you posting? Why are you on Facebook? Because sometimes it's an open conversation for me to say, okay, I can get other opinions and talk, you know, somebody will say calm down, or just straight out, I don't know. I think that's the thing. I don't know. In a lot of ways, I just don't know. I don't know how to compartmentalize what's going on. I think that's the tendency, is to you know, oh, I saw this thing happen, I'm going to tuck it away somewhere so I can deal and move on. And as I say that out loud, I can hear the Lord saying, cast your cares on me. And I guess in a sense I failed that part. I'm sitting here on my dad's porch, and it reminds me of a conversation that I had with my son on the telephone. My son and I, we talk a lot. We talk a lot on the phone under normal circumstances. But lately, a lot. But one time, I'm like sitting on the porch right now, and I remember one conversation I had with him. I told him I was so angry. I wanted to pick up a rock and throw it at the building across the street. Throw it at the senior citizens building. And he said, Mom. I was like, yeah, I know. They had nothing to do with it. They had nothing. Like, he said, you would be a protest of one. Yeah, and we were kind of laughing. Yeah, at the senior park, mobile home park. Throw a rock. Why? Like, why? Because I had no place to compartmentalize the emotions. So I had nowhere to put it inside. So I'm just gonna take care of it outside of me, you know. And we laughed. We laughed because, you know, Mom's falling apart. Oh my God. Yeah. So most of, well, all of LA County is on curfew, and my son gets off work beyond the time when the curfew starts, or he gets off work right at the time it starts, so he would be traveling. So I was concerned, but the real word is fear. I was afeared. So I started calling around to see who could help me deal with this. You know, I called the sheriff's department. Like, how does this work? How does this curfew work? You know, let me have my son out there, and I see how you guys are dealing with certain people. So I want to know, how does this work? You know, my son's out there. He's going to work, trying to do the right thing, and I can imagine. I'm sorry. There's going to be cars going by because I'm out on the porch. So I want to know the information. You got this curfew out. His employer knows there's a curfew, yet they still have him working. You know, they have not just him, but all these guys working. So I tried to call the sheriff's department, and all you do is get basically a loop of menus that none of them have general information. I called a direct location. I don't know, probably the Diamond Bar. I got a person, and he put me on hold to take a 911 call. I held for a little bit, and then called the 211 number, and he said, oh, at curfew no one could be on the road, just first responders and people of that sort. I'm like, well, my son's gonna be out there off work. And he says, well, you know, he can try, if he gets pulled over, he can try explaining his situation to the officer. So I'm like getting the visual as he speaks. Yeah, try to explain that to who? Anyway, that wasn't enough. So I went to his job. I'm gonna say, like, why do you have my son working? Knowing there's a curfew and what's going on. So I was like, I don't care. I'm going up there, and I'm gonna look. Either you're gonna let him off work early, or I'm gonna do like my mom back in the day. She oh my God, one day years ago, my brother used to lift weights with Coach Abs, and folks from Pomona High School know Coach Abs. Well, my brother used to compete, you know, different areas in weightlifting, and he hurt his back. So at the time he was working at Taco Bell, and he called off, and the manager didn't believe him. He thought he was lying about he had an injury. So he said something that my mom didn't like. So my mom went up to Taco Bell, that Taco Bell on Gary, and she was gonna deal with this manager, and she quit his job for him. I think I was gonna do the same thing if he wasn't gonna let my son off early. I don't know. I just went up there. I was gonna do something. So he assured me, you know, no, we are an essential employer. We're on the list, and he's got this paper. And in my mind, I'm like, yeah, slave pass. Those work really well. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, it's squared away. He called me when he got off work, and he said, hey, Mom, way to go embarrassing me in front of the class. But he felt this sense of peace because he wasn't out there alone. to left alone to chance. You know, I believe in the protection of God. I believe in divine immunity, that he will be protected. And that's another thing, because I tell myself, God, I believe in you, I believe. But these feelings are still here. You know, I can hear it in my son's voice. I can hear it, you know. But I told him, I said, you know what time you get off work, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to follow you home and make sure you get home. And then I'll drive back up to Pops. You know, if anything happens to me, I don't care. I don't care. But you, I'm going to make sure you get home. Anyway, it's all good. He's all right. He's all right.